Matthew 27, 1 to 10. Early in the morning, all the chief priests and the elders of the people made their plans how to have Jesus executed. So they bound him, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate, the governor. When Judas, who had betrayed him, saw that Jesus had been condemned, he was seized with remorse and returned the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priest and the elders. "I have sinned," he said, "for I have betrayed innocent blood." "What's that to us?" they replied. "That's your responsibility." So Judas threw the money into the temple and left. Then he went away and hanged himself. The chief priests picked up the coins in the temple and said, "Well, it's against the law to put this into the treasury since it's blood money." So they decided to use the money to buy the potter's field as a burial place for foreigners. That is why it's called the Field of Blood to this day. Then what was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet was fulfilled. They took the 30 pieces of silver, the price set on him by the people of Israel, and they used them to buy the potter's field, as the Lord commanded me. So, Friday of the final week is upon us, known as Good Friday. There's not a lot good about it, unless you look at it from the perspective of being delivered from sin. So goodness me, it all unravels for Judas. It's not at all surprising since he put money above all else in his life. Somehow, the point where the devil entered him became the point where it all backfired. It's a truly tragic, almost Shakespearean story. When I was a young boy, I became fascinated by the story of Jesus. About the music particularly, and the story of Jesus Christ Superstar, the musical. In many ways, that musical led me to the path of asking questions about Jesus, of learning about him, wanting to know more, asking more questions, and eventually giving my life to him. That musical captures something of the mystery of Jesus' life from a human point of view. Because in that show, the lead character is not Jesus himself, but Judas. And Judas represents the common man, asking all the questions that the audience themselves are probably asking, namely, why did Jesus come? Why did he pick such a backward time in such a strange land? Don't you get me wrong, I only want to know. Some Christians mistakenly think that Jesus Christ Superstar is mocking Jesus, but I think that's a very mistaken view. It's a musical written by two very clever men who are asking a bunch of questions, the very same questions that I had been asking as a young boy, and the same questions possibly Judas himself had been asking, and that Judas asks in the musical too. Why did you come, Jesus? What is this all about? Why did you die such a messy death? Why couldn't you have been glorious on earth? Why wasn't the Messiah the person we thought he would be? Of course, in the musical, it all ends with Jesus dying on the cross, and it finishes there. You just get an empty cross and very sad music. It's overwhelming and it's very powerful, but it ends there. Whereas with Godspell, which was another musical written about the same time, the show ends with cast singing "Long Live God" as Jesus comes down from the fence where he's been crucified. And now all these shows came out about the same time, asking the same question, what was it all about? And I don't think it's wrong to ask questions. I don't think it's wrong to question God. Why did you have to die in this way? Why were you judged in such a terrible way? What was Judas about? Why did he kill himself? What about the 30 pieces of silver? Why did he have to be betrayed? Asking questions leads us ultimately, hopefully, to the truth. That's not a bad thing.